To many, this may just look like a boring boxmobile, a brick. To many others, a handsome, charismatic classic. But one thing it is undeniably is proof for that phrase, they don't build cars like they used to. And how does it prove that? Well, this thing has almost 300,000 miles. And, well, shows no signs of giving up yet.
Before we get started, I'd like to say another huge thanks to Horton Cars in Buckinghamshire for lending me the car for the day. This car and many other Volvos are available on their website, so do have a look. They're great people. While you're there, visit my website too, scotlandcars.co.uk, to read my brand new blog, get the links to the rest of my social media, or to seek specific car buying advice tailored to you. Enough chat, let's get back to the video.
So how and why does this thing have so many miles? Well, the reasons are twofold, but one of those folds lies under
Under
here.
the bonnet, you get a later variation of one of Volvo's most notorious engines, the red block engine, built to last, to survive the harsh Swedish conditions and live forever. This one being a 2-litre non-turbo variation, meaning even less stress on what is essentially an indestructible engine, making it very reliable.
Now, obviously, just because a car was built to last, built for optimum reliability and durability, doesn't mean it will automatically live forever. No, you've got to look after your cars. Look after your car and your car will look after you. Well, yet again, this car is another piece of evidence for that phrase. Take a look at this. We have this entire massive A4 storage box, as it's called here, full of history. You've then got the original Volvo book, again with service history. And then in here, you've got some hubcaps, you've got your engine oils, you've got more books about the car. I mean, I don't think it could be more clear that this car has been looked after. And it's easy to see why someone would take such good care of it. I mean, it basically acts as a second home, just one that you can drive. And we'll see how it fares in that department later. Firstly, though, just check out the practicality of this thing. All right, starting off in the boot then. And, well, you've got space for 2.5 of me sideways. And 4 bunched up of me's landscape. And reasonably comfortably as well. I'm not that bunched up. So if you are a human trafficker or a people smuggler, you will survive. You've also got first aid kit. I mean, the whole boot basically comes apart. You can take off this bit. You can take off the entire rear. It folds in just for that bit and then give it a bit of a yank and you get more space. Let's fold the seats down. Well, there's basically all the space in the world here. If you're worried about fitting Sweden's entirety in the boot, then just settle for the entirety of IKEA because, yeah, you could flat pack about 20 beds into this thing. Let's see what it's like if you are actually using the rear seats. Now, this seat is set up for 6'1" me to sit in complete comfort, so it is like as far back as it can go and as reclined back. And, I mean, my knees are touching, but I'm not uncomfortable. I think what I will say is that headroom isn't quite as good as you'd expect. That probably isn't helped by this sagging roofliner, which is genuinely the only sign of wear on this car. That is the only thing I have found in this car that suggests it might be a bit old. For 286 or 281,000 miles, incredible. Shifting over to the middle seat then, and might be one of the most spacious middle seats that isn't in a 7-seater. Because this car, you could have spec'd it with 7 seats. This one doesn't have it. You just get a massive boot instead. Into this seat, it's incredibly comfortable. Lift the headrest up, sit back and relax. They could have used it as a chauffeur vehicle, I think. Now, you're probably used to seeing Volvos with comfortable leather seats, but I think that this cushiony fabric is potentially better than any leather I've ever sat on. It is incredible. It looks like denim and it feels like jogging bottoms. That's the only way I can kind of explain to you just how comfortable this car is. But of course, it's not all about the rear 3/4. Let's jump into the front. This driver's cabin really sums up what this car is about, and that is relaxation. You get in this and you feel no urge to get to your destination fast. In fact, you get this little clock here that I feel like serves as a reminder to just take your time. It makes a statement. Take your time, be safe, because that is what Volvo is about. The amount of comfort that this cabin gives you, I mean, these seats are the most comfortable seats I've sat in. The suspension is the most The suspension is the most comfortable suspension I've experienced. What I will say though is that this car is possibly the weirdest spec car in the world. Electric sunroof, wind down windows, heated seats, no aircon. What? I don't know who spec'd this car, but whoever did it had very specific wants and needs, and I guess this car met them. I mean, you get a carpet in the door panel. What else screams comfort and relaxation than a carpet in the door panel? I don't want to get up. It would be wrong to have a car this practical and not do the signature cubby holder cant, so here we go. In the back then, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, no door bins, which is surprising, no door bins. You might not have a cubby holder, but you have this, a space to store your child. 5 in here. You got 5 into the front then. To be honest, I was expecting a bit better from Volvo. Hopefully it makes up for it in the front. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That opens, I'm not going to open it. 16. You mean you can definitely store something here. That's 17. That looks like it opens, but it doesn't. Was that 17 or 18? 17. 17 cubby holders. Maybe that's good for the 1990s, I don't know. Let's move on. Is the Volvo like on the road? Well, first of all, let's test the performance. Pulling out onto this country road. Okay, so Leon told me that it's mega slow. I wouldn't call it mega slow. I'd call it very slow. I think mega's a bit of a stretch. It gets up to speed quick enough. 0 to 40 is fine. That extra push to 60, okay, maybe not. But the thing about this car is that by no means do you want to. You will just wait for a bigger gap because you want to pull out stress-free and relax. This car promotes relaxation. In fact, if you've lost your license to speeding, drink driving, dangerous driving, I would recommend you just go and buy an old Volvo Estate because you won't want to drive it fast. By no means does it not go round corners. You can push it a little bit. Okay, it's a bit boaty. Leon and the team at Horton Cars, they are going to be putting on some new suspension components to make it a bit more composed. But it's composed enough. Like I'd probably knock off maybe 10 miles per hour to what I'd normally take corners. But it's a Volvo wagon. You don't need to take corners fast. So at slower speeds around town in villages, it does exceptionally well, to be honest. I mean this. This is the best turning circle on a Volvo I've ever experienced, and I own a small C30. I don't understand it, but it just keeps going. Suspension is so soft, it just goes over bumps like they're nothing. And yeah, manoeuvrability for a 5-metre car isn't that bad. When you pick up speed and take it out onto some corners, it goes round corners. It does go round corners just fine. It's composed, and the driving style of the car, the way it makes you feel, you by no means want to push it around corners, so it doesn't need to be anything more than composed. And then you get onto the higher speed roads and start to cruise, and that is where this car comes to its own. It is so quiet, it's so refined. It's a 1992 car, and it drives like how I'd imagine an S-Class to drive. It's so comfortable. This car comes into its element on a road trip to the Peak District or something like that. That's where you want this car. It is ultimate Volvo. This is how I describe a lot of Volvos. It does whatever job you throw at it. It might not do them all perfectly, but it does them all well enough to keep you happy. And the looks that you get driving this car and the way it makes you feel driving an old boxy classic, it just means that the smile never dissipates. So around town, nice, soft, surprisingly manoeuvrable for a 35-year-old Volvo. On a twisty road, it copes just as well as it needs to cope. And where it really shines is on the motorway or on a back road cruise. This car is the ultimate grand tourer. Forget a Bentley, get one you can sleep in the back of. Leon described it as driving like new, and I can completely understand why. Other than the gearbox has clearly aged, but I like that. An older gearbox is always better than a newer gearbox. Other than that, it drives how I imagine it would have drove when it was new. It's brilliant. This car is absolutely fantastic. Bearing in mind it's done 281,000 miles and it is 25 years old. So then, what is my verdict on the Volvo 940? Well, I'm driving it here on a nice, not too twisty back road, and I can't say anything other than I absolutely love this car. It blows me away that a car from 1992 with 281,000 miles can drive as well as this. It promotes a relaxing drive, unlike this Audi who's behind me, who's currently on an overtaking spree, and I'm probably next. I can see why the previous owner kept it so long. You're overtaking on a corner. What's it? Absolutely. You can see why the previous owner kept it so long and treated it so well, because it treats you just as well. Right, where's my wallet? I'm gonna have to buy it. Beat me to it. Horton Cars, Buckinghamshire. See you on the next